Hi Gemini, Enchantress here, master weaver of mystery suspense thrillers, as well as broadcaster of astrology. First, I'd like to thank you for being here with me today, lending me your ears, your eyes, and your time. I know it is valuable. Therefore, I will be sharing valuable information with you that will help you to navigate the month's upcoming challenges. Please don't hesitate to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to know more about Enchantress, the author, you can hit the down bar, and all of my links are below, as well as the links for the healing chakra beads and the sun catchers. So let's get into why we're here. Happy birthday, Gemini. We're here to go over Gemini season, actually June in its entirety. So that does include a little bit of Cancer season as well. So let's go over it in its entirety. Gemini is here from May the 21st through June 20th. Your sign is ruled by Mercury, making you all about networking and communication. You're a fun, curious sign that loves to mingle. And since Mercury is at the helm, you're naturals when it comes to learning new skills and or connecting with those that can assist you in opening these channels. This month, we're all prompted to take a page out of your book, Gemini. Listen, learn, explore, network. In order to expand our businesses this month, everyone, we're required to poke our head out of our shell, even if we remain in quarantine, okay? Using the World Wide Web is the best bet as far as allowing you to reach far and wide, okay? While you remain in the comfort of your home, you know, the World Wide Web does help, definitely. So it's time to find the connect, okay? Catch my drift? Let's find out where some of our major planets will be transiting. Gemini. It's a time to look within. Now, we know that Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus reigns over our money, our values, our resources. Uranus is the planet of revolution, shocks, and surprises. It is actually semi-sextile Charon on the 9th of Taurus, at 9 degrees Taurus, on June the 10th. This could bring a sudden or expected opportunity to recover from a financial loss. Maybe even a chance to heal a broken relationship with a family member or significant other. Some could find themselves the receiver of an enticing proposition that you know could ruin a relationship with a spouse, lover, or relative. Be mindful of that. Know what you're doing. The sun is in Gemini at the start of June. Okay, keeping your focus on learning new avenues of creating success. Gemini is prompting you to be fun and sharp-witted, okay, in your business endeavors. And I'm speaking to the collective right now, to everyone. And then I'll get into your individual scopes, Gemini. Okay, so this applies to everyone. Now, it enters Cancer at 0 degrees, the sun, on June 20th. This is a time when you may prefer to stay at home, nurturing those around you. You could also slack off as to your professional goals, preferring to enjoy things around your abode that bring you contentment. The home environment, when in Cancer, is definitely a focus. Mercury, the planet of communication, skills, sales, intellect, goes retrograde on June 18th in the sign of Cancer, where it is debilitated, okay? Be discerning as to whom you spark dealings with, business or otherwise. You may find yourself in the midst of underhanded, lazy characters who mean to misuse your talents. People who make it to high places through little effort of their own. In other words, look out for the charlatan, okay? This retrograde lasts until June the 12th. In addition to that, you'll also, during this retrograde, be dealing with people from the past that you've dealt with before. Rehashing things, revising things, okay? Looking back over things, re-editing, okay? Now, Venus, the planet of romance, finances, pleasure, and abundance, is retrograde Gemini. The way you go about putting things into action is in question. Some will get a second chance to deal with the same issue. Will you handle it as you did in the past? If so, did you get your desired result? Because if not, now is the chance to shift the outcome. I don't recommend making any big changes in your finances unless it's scaling back during retrograde of Venus. I also ward against making any drastic changes to your appearance, as to your appearance. during Venus retrograde. You just might not have a taste for it once the planet goes direct, okay? Now, Venus, the planet of romance, finances, pleasure, and abundance, goes direct in Gemini until June 25th. No, goes direct in Gemini on June 25th. Okay? This is a position of wealth, success, fame, intelligence. All areas are free to progress for a steadfast abundance. Okay? Now, Neptune, planet of fantasy, inspiration, dreams, illusions, it goes retrograde on June 23rd. I want to go back to Venus and make sure I said the right thing, that Gemini goes direct, because right now it's retrograde, and then it goes in Gemini. Venus is retrograde in Gemini. Then it goes direct on June 25th. And that's when things are free to progress forward. I want to make sure that I made that clear and I said that right, because right now it's retrograde in Gemini. Okay. So I know I put it in the newsletter. I just want to make sure I have that right. Okay. Now, Neptune, planet of fantasy, inspiration, dreams, illusions. It goes retrograde on the 23rd. This transit will affect Pisces the most, but it does affect us all. It could put you in a lazy mood, a bossy mood, a sharp-tongued mood, just because Mars is there as well. Okay. That's going to create that problem with that full moon in Sagittarius too. We'll talk about that. So you want to try not to fall into the trap of holding yourself back, blocking your blessings by not watching your mouth. Okay. Now, Mars, the planet of challenges, and that goes for the collective. Mars, planet of challenges and energy, enters Aries at 0 degrees. 0 degree. Where it is exalted. Okay. Aries rules Mars. Okay. So it's exalted there. It's happy that it's there. This is great for Aries and Scorpio, but for us all as a collective, our competitive drive is back. Our ability to overcome hardships is heightened because, it's such a challenging planet. It will incite more protests. Okay. Because those around you will have the courage to fight for their rights. Your libido could be in overdrive. So don't allow yourself to be seduced by a snake in the grass. Okay. You could stand to lose everything. Now, Jupiter quintiles Charon at 8 degrees of Aries on June the 1st, the first day of the month. This could bring success in a health regimen. A chronic ailment that usually bothers you can subside during this transit. And by the way, a quintile is when two planets are 72 degrees apart, forming a harmonious aspect. Now, Jupiter is conjunct Pluto at 24 degrees in Capricorn on June the 30th. This conjunction is favorable for making great strides in literature and education. However, you must be willing to learn, to study, to try new things. Word of advice, your wit is sharp. Just make sure your tongue doesn't match. That's in Capricorn. Capricorns can be very direct, so you're going to be under that influence and that energy. That Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn lasts until September the 23rd, by the way. Now, Saturn is retrograde in Aquarius until September 29th. As you know, Saturn is the planet of restrictions, responsibility, even karma, good or bad. Your actions help to determine how your karma plays out. In this position, there is a danger of short-lived romances fouling up your karma. Okay, so don't get into those relationships you shouldn't get in, and it's short-lived and you make a mistake and you mess up your karma. You have bad luck, or you have to reap the consequences for what you've sown. Success can be achieved, but you must abide by principles. Okay, now Pluto, the planet of rebirth, renewal, resources, is retrograde until October the 4th. This is a time of transformation for the collective. Be gentle with yourself. In the coming months, our faith will be tested. Don't allow fear to bind you mentally. Don't be easily deceived. Do your homework before believing media or social propaganda, as it will be shoved into your faces at all directions, from all directions. We as a collective are at a vulnerable point in our lives. We as individuals must do our part by keeping our hopes up and maintaining our mental health, as well as doing what we can to be a part of the solution as opposed to perpetuating the problem. The silver lining is that Pluto, being conjunct Jupiter, does help us to keep our eyes on the prize while facing the upcoming shifts in our business and personal lives. I implore you, keep a kind heart. The world needs compassion, as does the entire human race. Okay? Now, the full moon on June the 5th is in the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius at 15 degrees. This will be a partial lunar eclipse of the South Node. The South Node is your karma, your past life experiences. You've been there, you've done that. It's time to move on from there. A reevaluation of beliefs is upon us. A new moon brings things to a culmination. This moon is squared by Mars and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, and Mars is there too, coupled with it as well. Am I pointing at the right thing? Yeah, it's right there as well. So check your sign below. Never mind. You don't have to check your sign below because I'm going to read it to you. I'm reading off my newsletter. This is a lunar eclipse opposing the sun. Now, the new moon on June 21st is in the cardinal water sign of Cancer at 0 degree. This is a partial solar eclipse in the North Node. The North Node is where you're trying to get in life, where you're meant to go without being corrupted by the money and the power attained as you get closer to the North Node. Okay. The new moon brings opportunities and fresh starts. Okay. It's a solar eclipse. So it's blocking the sun. The moon is blocking the sun. So let's get into your individual astrology, Gemini, and break some of this down for you. As you know, your Gemini lasts until the 21st, from May 21st till June 20th. The sun and Mercury, okay, planet of communication skills, sales, intellect, is in your sign. You're not only the spotlight, but your name is being circulated now. Congratulations, Gemini. Use this attention wisely. This is a time when you're more apt to sway others to your way of thinking. On June 1st, Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion, is quintile Chiron, impacting your 11th house of friends, goals, high hopes. This sextile brings an opportunity to heal old wounds amongst friends. The full moon in Sagittarius on June the 5th impacts your sector of work and health, as well as your area of partnerships. There is a square aspecting this eclipse through Mars, the planet of energy and challenges, and Neptune, the planet of illusions, fantasy, and inspiration. Okay. You also have to consider the sun and Mercury there in your sign. So it's affecting you personally. Okay. You can face an obstacle at work or in career as far as bringing your dreams to fruition. Okay. You could even have a blow up with someone who may be blocking your aspirations, or you feel they may be blocking your aspirations. But because Venus is there in your sign as well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention not involving yourself in any extramarital affairs, especially at work. The full moon brings on a reckoning, so you want to be careful, okay? Now, once the sun and Mercury, and I tell you these things so you can be mindful of them, so you can not fall into those traps, okay? The sun on June 20th and Mercury on June 18th transition into Cancer. So the focus will transfer to your money and personal resources. You're wanting to expand, okay? So you'll have to keep working, especially because Mercury is retrograde. Moving along, the new moon in Cancer at 0 degree on June 21st aspects your area of personal finances. It's also right there next to the North Node that's in your sign, pushing you toward your destiny, Gemini. Venus, the planet of finances, romance, and pleasure, goes direct in your sign on June 25th, ushering in progress in those areas ruled by the planet: finances, romance, pleasure. Mars transitions into Aries on June 27th, sextiling your area of friends, goals, and high hopes. This could bring an opportunity through work. A challenge that you may have been facing or dealing with in that sector could change, okay? So follow your intuition. Know what's best for you. You're here to grow, Gemini, okay? Now, your shared resources are affected by the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn at the end of the month on June the 30th. It's a time for new partnerships in the area that you've been learning about, because you've been studying and learning about a new area. And that's where that's going to come. That new partnership is going to come in. Saturn in Aquarius trines your 9th house of travel and education. You're learning new things that will bring advancement in your life. You will advance greatly this year, Gemini. Okay? So happy birthday. And remember, the Mercury retrograde lasts until June. It goes retrograde on June 18th and it's retrograde until July 12th. It's not a time to launch. It's a time to review, revise, restructure, re-edit, and go over things. Okay? Okay. Stay safe, Gemini, and God bless you.